Welcome to my fire. Let's see if I've done this appropriately, good enough so it will continue to burn for a while. I found this spot right. I've been here before many times. I have many good memories from this place. It's a beautiful place. It's a pond, quite big pond, and it's a track around it, and there's a playground way over there. And it's ice over there, like you can skate. And they have beyond the skiing track is the ice. It's a swimming pool, inside the swimming pool, and can grow quite a large fish here. In the summer, this big meat-eating fish, like I'm not sure about the English word, but they're famous for having that they're eating the ducks. Actually, they come up from under the water and they eat the ducks that are here. And now it's just birds. So it looks like my fire is burning. And yeah, my idea to come here is to talk about how we can be and manage fire, the phenomenon of fire. And I notice for me right now, just to sit there, just sitting here and looking at this fire is I feel this grounding feeling that I can just let my being, my perception of the flames just be with the flames, and so I can be at ease with my senses. Notice that's what's happening for me right now. And it's something about like my doing sometimes is kind of like creating this forgetfulness. It's creating a kind of forgetfulness. I think I have to put on some gloves. My hands are getting cold. Sorry for the wobbling camera. Oh, yeah. My doing seems to sometimes take me away. It creates this. My doing can create a sense of bewilderment in my and creates this forgetfulness of the fire. Because at some point I stopped to notice. I stopped to notice the fire and the ground that's always there. And I know that it's always there. It's kind of it's a fact, like sometimes it's a old, it reminds me of this Chinese proverb, something like when you feel like running, just sit down. And something about can I allow myself to sit down when I feel like running? Can I allow myself that pause and just come back to my being, my existence of being a human, the being itself is that I exist. And if that's something like, how can I, for my own well-being, how can I notice that fire that's burning and can I just validate this experience that I'm having right now, so I can maybe share some thoughts of appreciation and the fact that I do sit here and I do perceive and see this fire. And can I be with my more primordial innate capacity of just being? So when I'm sitting here, there's a perfect correlation between this fire that I'm perceiving, and it keeps informing my experience right now. It keeps informing me with the smell of the timber, and I can go also can inform my hand. I can reach out to the fire and I can almost put my hand in there. But as I do this, I can start from over here maybe, and I can slowly lean into the fire. But at some point, I notice like I'm not like thinking. I'm not thinking like, oh, I have to pull my hand away. But it's something in me that tells me like this is too hot. This is too hot to be with. So my hand had to run away from that fire. And if we use that metaphor of that fire, if we apply that to our behavior and how we're creating thoughts and strategies and whole belief systems to avoid our hands from getting burned up. And not like, I feel like I want to broaden that context. And I see that my flames has run out. I notice some disappointment with that. Yeah, and I also noticed like my hand is really cold. I think I have to move. But I'm still in touch with my own fire. So it will keep on a very poetic, in a very poetic, deep way. It keeps burning in me. And now I'm gonna take a walk around this pond, and I'm gonna continue to talk about the relationship we have with our own fire. So it felt good to stand up and walk, but back to the fire. So if we keep like, at some point forgetfulness start to feel like it's something about like a sense of emptiness, a feeling of like emptiness with not like a full emptiness, but a empty emptiness. A feeling of emptiness can start to imagine it. That's where everything starts. Emptiness. And when you're being like with this emptiness, something about that where forgetfulness starts to occur. And so, this comfort of being with this emptiness, this pressure you feel like, what am I doing, and where am I? Like this sense of where am I, and also some degrees the who am I feeling, or the where am I can create this who am I from this place of the emptiness. And if that's Suddenly you can feel like you can start looking outside yourself and like, oh, I'm seeing all these people and they seem to be doing so well. And you're looking around from, and things start to like, things can really start to occur. Your world can start to occur a very lonely place from this feeling of emptiness, and that creates a sense of that I'm not part of this, like I'm not a part of whatever is happening outside me. I'm not connected to, and I'm starting to create all these stories about like, yeah, I see these people there like thriving and evolving, and I make up all these stories being with my thoughts, and they just start to perpetuate itself, like they're just creating all these stories that's linked to another story and another thought, and a new story emerges from these two stories, and everything is just coming together, and it doesn't fucking make sense at all. And while my thinking is like, well, my thinking is taking me so many ways in different directions, then you really can question, who the fuck am I? And where the fuck am I going? And where have I come from? And that's really setting the stage for pain. You can really set the whole stage super in kind of a, what's that word, as technicolor vision, like this technicolored world that we can imagine ourselves, and just the imagining in itself is creating this vivid, lifelike world. And the question becomes, when did I leave my own ground? At some point it became too unsettling, and a deep sense of unrest started to happen. At some point it all shifted. The point of no existence is starting to become too overwhelming for our being to be with. And I want to circle back to the fire that's always burning. As long as we are alive, that fire is always burning. But we keep forgetting that that's a fact of life. It's really a fact, like in so many ways, like in the biological sense, it has to exist something that keeps us going. And we have thousands of years of evolution to prove that. Like, And the sense of like when I sat down earlier, when I sat down there and started that fire, this sense of primordial, this that is something like, I'm sure you've experienced that yourself, like when you're sitting before like a fireplace, it's something, at least for me, it's something that's just settling, like, oh, I can just sit there and stare into these flames. And a thought occurs about these flames. I was listening to the Dialogos series with John Verveke and Jordan Hall and Chris Meister Petro and Guy Sengstock. They were kind of having this really juicy and stimulating talk about like gathering logs and lighting a fire, and I really love that series, and also all the beautiful framing that John Verveke brings, and those four guys is, I keep coming back to the series. It keeps informing me, and it helped me really to create so many new distinctions that I feel deeply enriching my life and my experience of existence. But to come back to that, our modern version of gathering people around the activity of gathering wood is something about that we're doing. And the corona version, or the corona version, and the modern, postmodern version of coming around and sharing information, the modern version of that is our screens. And like you're watching this on the screen right now, and I'm watching it on my little screen, so I can see what I'm seeing. And yeah, I noticed, like, just stating that, I noticed like, what? How easy I can forget that the fire is burning inside of me and not out there. So how can we build this fire together, so we can be with our fire together, and we can gather the logs that we need to make that fire. Yeah, we can throw the screens together and light them up. We can't throw all our screens in a big pile and lit them up. Of course we can, but how would that be? Like to go with that flow of that idea that emerged right now. If we put all our screens together in a big pile, how would that feel like? How would that smell? this sense of I have this sense right now of like seeing this picture and exploring that idea. I get this sense of destruction, sense of that, like the deep or the horrible destruction that we can create if we start to or the destruction we can create together if we keep forgetting that we're in the presence of a whole history of being in the world and existing. So if we forget the ground and so many horrible acts throughout history has occurred because of the fact that we're taking things, our existence, our whole existence, and the existence of everything. If we take that for granted, and taking things for granted is like, we stop noticing, and it becomes like this repetitive patterns that we just do, and we when we forget that, what am I doing right now? And everything is coming into focus of this point. I feel like right now it's coming into a focus of when did I lose my connection to myself, to my own being? And it reminds me of that last talk and the last walk I had. Like, at some point my being is deceiving, or as a part of me is deceiving that ground that is always, and the ground and that fire that's always burning inside of me. At some point I'm leaving that ground, and my mind is starting really this process of making stories that I assume is true. So if I don't see that my mind is creating bullshit, how the fuck can I be certain about anything? Then all this sense, like this deep sense of feeling lost, feeling that my life is meaningless, that I'm unworthy of having a great and thriving life, and that I don't matter. Everything, it creates these stories, and they're coming together in a structure and create really, really profound, strong, not profound, that's the wrong word, but these structures, these deep structures and ideas. And and it from that point creating ideas and structures and stories and unease and unsettlement and worry and anxiety and depression and deep meaninglessness. The world starts to occur like a horrible place, like this horrible place, and we can also start to isolate ourselves because we can't be with ourselves anymore, and we're starting to lose any connection to the world. Of course, that creates, of course, and I noticed like I just crossed the line into pathology, and I really believe that this forgetfulness is where, when we start to not remember that we do exist and we do matter, that at some point we lose that connection and forget with all our doing, with all our wants and all our needs, and creates this deep sense of, and we start to bullshit ourselves, we start to bullshit others, and that's where pathology, like from that point, pathology also in especially the Western world, because all our needs are presumably so many things we need in order to fill some need. From that place of forgetfulness, some aliveness starts to die. Slowly but certainly, things can start to die. That part of us that needs that aliveness, that fire, it needs the being needs to gather that logs, so we can light this fire together. And in that togetherness, we can rest assured that we do matter. We do matter. I can feel that and we come back to the realization that my life do matter, and it can make sense. It really can make sense. We just have to sometimes allow ourselves to be vulnerable in others' presence and our own presence. Let that beautiful river of tears just run down our face, and so we can slowly but surely start to move again and notice that we're alive. Yeah. So we can feel the earth beneath our feet. We can walk there together on this earth and share our experience. I really want to say how much I appreciate being a part of Circling Institute's 1 year long training, the practitioner program in the art of circling. It has completely and utterly changed my being. So, thank you. I want to thank everybody on the institute, especially the trainers. I'm not gonna mention all the names. It won't take me too long, but I want to take John Cotton, Corinna Reynard, and deep gratitude for Guy Sandstock, who is the creator of this practice that keeps on inspiring me and widening my perception and deepening my experience of being me in the world. And for those who are listening, I hope you're finding yourself in a nourished place right now, and that you get some takeaway from listening to and spending your valuable time. So yeah, thank you for joining me on my walk. And I wish you a good day or afternoon or morning or wherever you are.